Hello, my name is Sally. I am one of the makeup artists working with Look Fabulous Forever, which is skincare and makeup specifically designed for older women. Today I have a very special model with me. I have Christine. Christine, I hope you don't mind me saying, she is 65. She has the most beautiful red hair. So it's a look, if you have got red hair, a look that will just complement that beautiful colouring. The first product that I'm going to use on Christine is our beautiful Smooth Like Silk Face Prime. And this product will just ensure that her foundation, whatever we use, which I'll show you in a moment, will stay on all day so she doesn't have to worry about touching it up. Take a couple of pumps of the product and just apply that with fingers. And it really is, as it says on the tin, it goes on and it feels like silk. I'm going to use Light Look Beauty Balm in shade 0.5 on Christine. I'm going to apply it with my foundation brush number 10. Then I start in the middle and just work my way out. Very natural looking, but it will just even out everything really well. The next product that I'm going to use is our Cover to Cover concealer, which is a really nice creamy concealer which works really well for older skin. It doesn't sit in fine lines and go dry and cakey. And it's just good if you want a little bit of extra help, maybe areas that are a little bit red, under eye, darkness, broken capillary. It's good just to put a little bit often in that inner corner of your eye where it's often a little bit bluey, so it can instantly brighten a face. And then just using the warmth of my ring finger just to tap. I'm now going to use our translucent finishing powder, this one, which is super finely milled, so it works really, really well on older skin. It doesn't sit in fine lines like a lot of powders do. And this will just set the Light Look Beauty Balm and the concealer, so it just stays in place all day. So I can either use a big fat brush, our brush number 1, just to sweep all over, or you can pinpoint where you have concealed with a smaller brush. And then I'm going to use my eyeshadow brush number 7, just to put a tiny bit just on the areas where we put a little bit of extra, just to set that. The next product that I'm going to use on Christine is our lovely Smooth Out Eye Prime. This is brilliant before putting on any form of eyeshadow for 2 reasons. It will smooth out your eyelids and cover up any fine veins and discoloration that you might have. And it means therefore that your eyeshadow will go on as a true colour, but it also will stop your eyeshadow from creasing and just keeps it there and keeps it fresh all day. Just make sure that your eyelids are dry and oil-free when you apply this product. All over the lid, and I'm going to bring it to just above the crease line because we're going to put a little bit of shadow here later. The little trick is also, if you find that you get movement of eyeliner, just to put a tiny little bit of the eye primer underneath as well. I always like to, at this stage, put on the Never Feather Lip Prime, which is our 3rd primer. Really, really good for keeping your lipstick from moving and bleeding if you get any kind of lipstick migrating. So it's good to pop this on now to give it time to dry before you get to lipstick stage. Just pop it onto the outer edge of your lips. And it creates a barrier. You don't put it on the lips itself, just on that outer edge. So if you are a redhead, you might find that your brows were quite sort of red in colour when you were younger, but as you get older, you lose brow hair. But you want to keep the colouring the same as your hair. So what I'm going to try and do today with Christine is to recreate that colour that she had. 2 products. I'm going to use Bring Back Brow Shape in Blonde, and then I'm going to go over it with a matte shadow in the shade Terracotta. So I'll show you how that works. So I've got a very, very fine brush. This is the Bring Back Brow Shape in Blonde. Just take off the excess. And what I'm going to do is just very fine strokes, starting in the middle. You can actually recreate actual brow hairs, individual hairs with this product. It's so clever. It doesn't come out as dark as it looks when you first use it. Next step in this process is really essential. It's our spoolie brush number 6, and you need to soften the product. Just doing that will make them look much, much more natural. So I'm now taking my wedge brush number 8 and the shadow in terracotta, and I'm going to just go over what we've done. If you don't have terracotta but you've got a bronzer, or if you're travelling, you can use your summer enduring bronzer to do the same effect. Very similar colour. So with Christine's beautiful hair colour, I'm going to hopefully work with that, and I'm going for a lovely warm, sort of a smoky brown look, but I'm going to start with the base using the same colour that I have used on Christine's eyebrows. I'm using terracotta, which is a nice warm brown, all over. I'm going to apply it with our brush number 7, which is a lovely fluffy blender brush. So I've just put the pad here just to stop any spillage that you might get from the product going on to Christine's face and foundation. So these no shimmer shades are really very flattering for older eyes. This colour will really enhance Christine's hair colour too. So if you find that your eyeshadow doesn't go on so well, rather than just sort of swiping it across, actually press it in like I'm doing, sort of stipple it on before you blend it, and you'll find that it goes on much better and stays on really well. What I'm now going to use is a really pretty shade called Deep Taupe. So it's a slightly darker, we've got one called Taupe, this is Deep Taupe. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this using our smaller brush number 9, which is a little bit more precise, just above and on Christine's socket line, because often as we get older, our eyes become a little bit more hooded so that the skin comes down, so you can create a slightly false higher socket line by using a slightly darker colour there, a little bit higher than you normally would. So sort of a bit like a windscreen wiper effect. And you can bring a little bit down to the outer edge. I'm now going to use my blender brush, which is the first brush I use, brush number 7, to really soften that effect. Blending it, little firm strokes out to in and downwards. You just want one colour to melt into another. So the third colour I'm going to use is a really gorgeous colour. It's called Chocolate. And if you want a really smoky brown colour, this is a great colour. I could use quite a lot of it if I was going out in an evening. I'm only going to use a tiny little bit because it's more of an upmarket day look today, but you can play around with Chocolate. It's a superb colour for a dark, smoky brown look. Just putting a tiny little bit of this on, again with the smaller brush, just on that outer corner. Just blending again, because it's a dark colour, using my brush number 7 again. So the last product that I'm actually going to use as an eyeshadow on Christine is really nice and very, very easy to use. It's our creamy eyeshadow sticks, and I'm using our shade Champagne, which is a light one, which will again complement her beautiful red hair and her blue eyes. It's got a tiny bit of shimmer in it, but it's not too shimmery, so it works really well on older eyes. And I'm going to apply it directly, and then I'm just going to blend it a little bit with my brush number 9. Just going to put a little bit in the centre, about the size of a fingernail. That's how I'm doing it. Basically blend it in so that when Christine opens her eyes, there'll be a pop of light. So what I'm going to do now is to give Christine a little bit of definition around the eye. She's got very fair lashes, so a bit of eyeliner and mascara will make that look, give her colour back. Green looks lovely with red hair, and Christine's wearing green in her outfit today. So I'm going to use our soft eyeliner in Forest Green to just give her a little bit of definition, and it will just complement the colours really well. So I start at the last eyelash, slightly lifting, and then just really as close to the lashes as you can, just to create that lovely thickness of lash. These are super soft, so they work really well on older eyes. They're really easy to use. I'm going to put a little bit underneath, and then we're going to soften the whole effect with eyeshadow. And you don't need to put any underneath, but we're going for a little bit of a wow lunch look. So because I'm going more for a brown look, I'm actually going to go over with my wedge brush number 8 and the chocolate brown, but you could go over it with a forest green eyeshadow as well. But this just will soften the look and set it, because we're putting a powder over it. just make the whole look a little bit more sort of smudgy and soft, which is really flattering. So to finish off Christine's eyes, I'm going to use waterproof brown mascara, which will again really go well with her beautiful hair colour and with the whole brown look that we're creating. So the mascara is fantastic for older lashes. It's actually hasn't got any little spiky filaments in, so it just coats them, makes them look darker, but still leaves them feeling pliable rather than sort of really stiff. I'm going to add a little bit of colour to Christine's face now, and the first product I'm going to use is our beautiful Enduring Summer Bronze, which looks scarier than it is. It's actually a very natural colour, and it will really enhance Christine's hair and her skin tone. So I'm going to use my big powder brush number 1 to apply this. So just a little bit where you naturally get sun-kissed, in a sort of 3 shape. In the temples, give her a little bit of natural warmth. I also put a little bit on the neck area here as well. I'm now going to use one of our Real Radiance blushers in shade Desert Rose. So these are a cream to silky powder formulation, which work really, really well on older skin. And they just blend, and you can build them up so they basically don't sink into the skin too much, and they don't just sit on the skin. And this colour, hopefully, Desert Rose, will really enhance the warmth and the browns that we have used, and also work really well with Christine's hair colour. Go sort of from the middle and then slightly outwards, and I like to apply it with my finger to start with and sweep it slightly upwards. So I'm now going to blend it with our blusher brush number 2 in a slightly sort of circular and upward motion. So the next product that I'm going to use is to create a little bit of light on Christine's face. This is called Instant Bright Highlight, and it's a very lovely dewy highlighter, but it's not too shimmery, so it works really well on older faces and older skin. So it's a clicky pen, and I'm just going to apply it in areas that we want a little bit of light, so just on the tops of Christine's cheekbones and a little bit underneath her brow bone as well. A few dots just on this area, and you can just with your finger just tap that in, so that when Christine turns, she'll just look a little bit more dewy, the highest part, which will help to define Christine's brows even more. So I'm going to again enhance Christine's colouring with a lovely, quite warm red colour on her lips, and I'm going to first of all define them with our lovely soft defining lip liner in shade Strawberry, and then I'm going to apply one of our lovely lipsticks in shade Poppy. This is a warm, vibrant red, which will again really enhance Christine's colouring and her red hair. I'm on the Cupid's bow with the strawberry, literally on the outline of Christine's lips, and then I like to fill it in so that you're not just left with a line if the lipstick wears off. Now I'm going to apply the Poppy lipstick, and I'm using my lip brush number 5 just to get a really professional look. You can apply it directly from the bullet, but this will just always go on a little bit cleaner, crisper, and last better. So I've taken Christine's clips out, and we have now put her hair back, and we have the finished look. So thank you first of all for being such an amazing model, Christine.
Oh, thank you.
It's been really lovely to meet you. So hopefully you've enjoyed today. What we've done, hopefully you can see the colours that we have used has really enhanced Christine's beautiful hair colour. We've gone for the sort of the warm browns with a little bit of green, and we've gone for a lovely warm red lipstick in Poppy, which has just brought everything together, and the eyebrows as well has made a big difference. So thank you so much for watching, and we'd love to hear your comments. Put your comments in the box below, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.